Hello, good morning. Welcome to It's Morning Somewhere. I don't think I laid my eyebrows back down after I colored them. Good morning. Welcome. It's morning somewhere. It's morning here in Hawaii. I'm in a little bit of a different setup. I'm not on a boat, although my computer is wiggling around a whole lot. I'm going to try to hold it still. Also, we are running off of a mobile hotspot today instead of my regular Wi-Fi. So fingers crossed that this broadcast is not annoyingly laggy. But even though we don't have Wi-Fi in my house right now, it's Wednesday morning, so we're here. It's morning somewhere. It's morning here in Hawaii. So good morning, good afternoon if it's after for you. Got my Hawaii mug again. This one's kind of my favorite for obvious reasons. I think it's if I was super efficient with this whole thing, I would have like a different mug every week, and then we could actually literally talk about the mug instead of me just showing you the same one over and over again. But anyways, today we're not talking about mugs. First of all, let's go ahead and dive into industry updates. You can see my pillow back there. That's not very professional either. Oh, there's another pillow. Okay. Industry updates. So this week, as far as the aviation industry goes, there's really honestly not a ton to report. It looks like American and Delta are bringing back some planes that they had previously had parked, which is really, really, really encouraging. They are still, though, reporting and predicted to come out of this sort of downturn or this temporary this little pause, still very much smaller than they were before. So I know that our friends who are employed by these two airlines are still sort of hanging tight, fingers crossed, taking leaves as they are able, early retirements as they are able. So we're still kind of like in this limbo thing. I think between now and October 1st, while we are sort of waiting to see that big are able to furlough employees or lay them off if necessary. So one of the stipulations of taking that stimulus money from the government was to use the money to cover paychecks between then and October 1st. So everyone is safe from being furloughed between now and October 1st. In a lot of ways, it's been really nice to have this bit of a runoff up because it has really forced the airlines to get creative with their leave options as well as their early retirement and their buyout options. So instead of everything just sort of being like pushed right up against the wall and it's like, take a leave, everybody's furloughed. We've had a little bit more like, all right, we're going to think about the leaves. We're going to let you know in 4 weeks what we're offering. And then you have 6 weeks to decide if you want it. And then after that, we'll see where we are and then we'll talk about it. And that gives us another 2 months to decide if we're going to have to furlough or not. So in a lot of ways, it's been kind of nice, even if we do see those furloughs, that we have had a runway. To sort of either get things prepared, take a leave, get your affairs in order, move, maybe get recertified in something that you did before so that maybe you could go back to that temporarily if you think that you're going to be furloughed. So in some ways, it's been really nice to have a little bit of a run up. Now, on the negative side, if you are facing probable furlough, you are sometimes we're losing the rip the Band-Aid off aspect, where instead of just like, okay, you know what, we're going to be furloughed, you're furloughed. Next week you're furloughed. We have this angst and this anxiety. So there's 2 Facebook groups that I talk about pretty regularly, Depart from Depression, run by Chris, and then Therapy, and it's spelled like THAIRPY, air, like air in the middle, therapy. Those 2 Facebook groups are for flight attendants, and also they invite people from Flight Attendant Career Connection. So if you're an aspiring flight attendant or a flight attendant who, your interview was canceled or you were your training was canceled, all of that, you qualify. It's not a closed door club over there. I know that they would love to have you and support you. If you are struggling emotionally, which how could you not be? But if you're real, if you need some support, there's support over there, especially if you are just sort of like waiting for the other shoe to drop to get furloughed. I know that there have been some people taking Flight Attendant Joe. He, the author and podcaster, an all-around funny guy. He took retirement, so he retired from his airline this week. He announced it, and so he's going to be focusing on his podcast, Flight Attendant Joe. You can look him up on wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, he has some really funny books on Amazon, which is where all the books are. And so if you're interested, I'm sure he would love a little bit of support and boost too, since he's he's joined the ranks of former flight attendant entrepreneurs. Our special club. It's not actually a club, but if Joe wants to be in a club with me, I totally would be in a club with him. So call me Joe. Let's be in a club. Anyways, all right. So that's a little bit about the industry. Who's hiring right now? Breeze Airways is still accepting applications. But they have not launched yet. They're still pre-launch. Latest I heard is going to be mid 2021. So, but they are accepting applications. They're collecting applications. I think it's a better way to say it, because it's not like they're accepting applications and they're interviewing. I don't even know that they're considering applications at this moment. They're literally just collecting them. But you know what? If you want to be a flight attendant, throw your hat in the ring and go ahead and give them your resume and application. But I believe that they're the only ones currently right now accepting applications. Frontier Airlines is still holding phone interviews for those who applied back in January, February, March, right before we sort of had before we had the huge, massive shutdown. If you applied and were able to complete your video interview, they've started calling for phone interviews. And also Omni is holding face-to-faces as well, I believe this week in Dallas. That was an invite-only invitation for their interview. But it's been interesting. We thought it would be completely dead, and it's not completely dead, although it's very much slowed down. Mesa still has some people in their pipeline. I think once full travel opens up again, which hopefully we're months away from at this point, maybe even weeks, well, probably months away, but less months, not 6 months. We're probably a couple months away. I'm hoping that we will have more airlines accepting applications. We will not see the majors accept applications and hire, though, probably for 3 years. So you're going to need to reevaluate your primary goal to maybe reach your secondary goal in a stair-step way, and keep your options open. There are a lot of fantastic airlines out there besides the big 3 majors. And you can be really happy living your flight attendant life for the next couple years at plenty of different airlines. I'm going to hop over here to the comments and see what's going on. Just got some hi. Sarah sent me an email. I didn't answer her. All right. I will see if I can. She wants to buy my package. Okay. Well, Sarah, after this, I will hop over to my email and we will definitely connect. Thank you for commenting. All right, guys. So that's a little bit about industry updates. Let's talk about, okay, so we don't usually do this part. I don't usually share a ton about my life, but that's going to change. Oh my gosh, are y'all so happy? All right, so guess what? This is the last It's Morning Somewhere broadcast that is going to come at you from Hawaii for a while. So my family and I have made a huge decision I'm not having another baby, if that's what everyone's first of all thinking. But we've made a huge decision to actually take leave. My husband's going to take some leave from his job. One of the leave packages that's offered, he's going to take some leave. We are going to homeschool our children, continue homeschooling them, but on our terms as instead of just distance learning. And we are going to travel full time for 12 months. We will be location independent. We will not have a place to live, which that's kind of like the scary part for my parents. But we are just going to travel full time. So here's kind of what that's going to look like if you're super curious. What we're going to do as far as homeschooling is concerned is we're actually going with a theory or philosophy called world schooling, where you use the world and you use the different places that you visit, or if you don't travel, different locations to study. And that's how you learn. So if we are traveling to the Grand Canyon, we will use the Grand Canyon to do our science, to base our history, to base our language arts. We will be writing, when they're writing reports and things like that. Math, everything could be based around where you are while you're, and we have the gift to actually visit the places that we will be studying. So we're going to be doing world schooling. I have a rising third, second, and kindergartner. And, just like most of America or all of America, we were forced to homeschool beginning in March. Distance learning is actually what it's called. So we distance learned, we distance taught, they distance learned for the last several months of the year. And it was stressful and it was difficult. And I had lots of homeschool mamas on my Facebook feed reminding me, this is not really homeschooling, this is distance learning. Homeschooling is much different. There's much more flow. It's just a little bit different. And so I started really considering that, especially when we don't even know what next year is going to look like. Here in Hawaii, they may be doing a hybrid where you homeschool 2 days and you go to school 2.5 days. And who even knows what's going to happen? Plexiglass and masks and all that. So I said, you know what? We're just going to homeschool. And then we had the opportunity our lease is up on the 20th of this month. And so I said, let's just pack everything up and let's just travel full time. So we're shipping the belongings that we want to keep to a storage unit in Florida where my mother-in-law lives. And we are shipping our car to the California coast. The children and I are actually leaving tomorrow morning to fly to the mainland. And Jason will join us probably on the red eye tomorrow night after he finishes turning in the keys and stuff to our apartment. And we will begin to travel full time. The beginning of our trip is going to consist of a road trip. Well, that's not exactly true. First, we're going to go see grandparents because that's just important. So first, we're going to fly over to the East Coast. We have flight benefits, of course. So we will fly over to the East Coast. We will visit my parents in Charleston, South Carolina. We'll visit my in-laws in Jacksonville, Florida. We're also going to visit more in-laws and more family, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, in Myrtle Beach on a little family vacation with my husband's family. And then we will be back in California to pick up our car. And that will begin the beginning of our road trip. We're going to take a road trip across the U.S. to start. We're probably going to go, not probably, we're going up the California coast. We're going through Oregon. We're going through up to Seattle, then across to Spokane. I actually went to school in Spokane to college. And so I have friends there, and there's, I just kind of want to show my kids and things like that. We're going to hit all the national parks, not all of them. There's like a bazillion million of them. We're going to hit national parks, and we are going to do a massive road trip across the United States, back over to the East Coast. We love to cruise. Y'all might already know that about us. So we're going to do a lot of cruising with the kids too. We've been researching. My husband's a travel agent too. So he's been doing a lot of research on the different cruise lines. Princess Cruise Lines actually partners with the Discovery Channel for their children's programs. So they're very science-based, which is kind of cool. So there's even different options like that. And so hopefully we will have even more surprises. It's not all completely nailed down exactly what we're going to be doing. I would love to hear what your recommendation. I was going to say what you think, but I don't actually want to know what you think it keeps dropping, for road trips or anything like that, which brings me to my tools for takeoff recommendation for today. So tools for takeoff, tools that I'm loving that will help you in your travel or aspiring flight attendant life. So what I'm loving is, Okay, cool. I just got some like, yay. Okay, good. Thank you. So what we're doing, so there is this app and it's in the description of this video. There's an app called Road Tripper. And I first heard about it in Girls Love Travel, Haley Wood's Facebook group. If you're not in it and you identify as a woman, go join. It's amazing. But Road Tripper is the app that I heard them talking about, and I went ahead and signed up for the year. It's like it's $30 for the year, but there's actually a coupon code in the description, save you $5, and it will allow you to really plan out your road. The thing that I love about it, it's not just like drop a pin on Google Maps, because I mean, like we could totally do that, but it actually has all the different landmarks. So like my husband's like, oh, I want to go to, I don't really remember. It's some, y'all, this is going to show a little bit about him. It's some restaurant that they ate at in the first Fast and the Furious or something. It's in Malibu. I don't know, but he knew the name of it because he knows every line of every movie, all like 95 of them. But he was like, oh, I want to go to the blah, blah, blah. And so I typed it in and it popped right up, and I put add to trip, and it actually put it into the trip, like where it goes. So it went, that stuck it between two different things that I had already picked that we wanted to see, between Long Beach and up to San Francisco. And oh, Matt Donahue says Neptunes. All right, Matt. So you and Jason are going to be like get along just fine. Yeah. And it put it in like right in between where it would need to be on the list. So I didn't have to be like looking at the map and deciding. Also, you can search for attractions within 30 miles of where you are. So you can put in, it also has hotels and things like that. We stay in Hilton's as much as possible because they're very consistent. They have really great breakfasts for the 5 of us, and they have lots of options for rooms that fit 5 people. So I wasn't really going to look. I'm probably not going to use, I don't know why I was telling you this to say, I'm not going to use the hotel part of it. But if you're looking for hotels or things like that, or like what's nearby me, but we're going to go up the Pacific Coast Highway all the way up to Seattle. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to keep you posted. I'm planning on starting another separate YouTube channel so that we can have all of that content in one place and this content on this place. But I just had to share with y'all because there's so many reasons. You know why we all get along? You know why, like, you and I are friends? You and I are friends because we love people and we love to travel. And I'm so excited that we're getting to do an epic 12 months full-time travel adventure. And like I said, my husband's taking leave from his company. The leave package is actually very, very generous. And so that is just what we're going to do. Rent here in Hawaii is insanely expensive. And because we will not have a lease, we will be able to use that part of our budget to fund this trip. Somebody asked me if we were going to do a trailer. No, ma'am. I think that we were going to camp like once or twice because my kids are like, we have to camp. We have to do s'mores. We have to camp. But I am not, like I said, I'm kind of like a little bit bougie in the, like, we're not going to do a trailer. I know that's kind of the traditional way to do it, but we're not. We also have flight benefits, which will allow us to kind of move around a lot differently than a lot of people who travel full time, because we may leave our car at an airport and fly somewhere for a couple of days and then fly back and then continue our road trip. So we have those kind of options too. And so we didn't want to be stuck with a trailer and things like that. But so that's tools. That's my tool, is the Road Tripper. I would love for you to check it out. You can check it out for free. And I think you can make trips that have like 5 stops for free. But if you're going to sign up, use the coupon code. That's an affiliate link. Full disclosure, affiliate link for me. Like I said, I went ahead and purchased the whole thing and I am loving it. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. Can you all tell I haven't really gotten to tell anybody about it yet? I mean, like, we told my parents and we told Jason's parents, but they were not as excited as I imagine y'all are for us. They were a little like, oh, wow, our grandchildren are going to do what school and do where school, and they'll live nowhere? Okay, we trust you. That was pretty much it, which is nice. At least they trust us. anyways, now let's get back to what we're doing today and go to our community question. So I got this question in a private message, but it's not this week. But this is not the first time that I've gotten this question in coaching or in emails. And it basically was, should I go to school to become an EMT? Should I get my EMT certification to so that my resume will have that really beautiful medical emergency situation hit, so that I will be more attractive to the airlines? And whenever I'm asked, should I go to EMT school or EMS school or paramedic school, should I go to that? My answer is always, well, is that something that you're passionate about? Is that something that you're feeling called to? Is that something that you feel like you could really make a difference and that you would enjoy doing that type of work? And if they I don't think that's the best use of your time or your resources. Plus, I feel like nurses, teach should be super passionate about what they're doing, because the job is hard, it's dangerous, the stakes are too high, and it's honestly not worth it if you're not feeling like your heart is calling you to do this so that you can make a difference. So no, I don't think you should go to EMS school just to make your resume look fancier. Now, I do think if that's something you're passionate about, like I said, or you're feeling drawn to it because you want to make a difference, yes, go for it. On the flip side, the person who asked me about the EMS, and I was like, no, no, you have like a full business. Like, no, you have a career. No. But I said, but for your resume, and also because I think it makes you a good citizen, but for your resume, go to redcross.com, sign up for a CPR class. So right now you can get certified. You can take classes online, CPR classes online. You can find a local one. He actually found one. He's in California and he found a live one. I think he actually already did it. Maybe this weekend or next weekend. He had to do some online training. Then he went to the class. And so now he's CPR and Red Cross CPR and first aid certified. So yeah, so that looks nice on your resume. It shows that you did go out of your way to increase your personal safety, to increase your skills to help humanity. And I also am very, very passionate about the fact that I believe everyone should know how to swim and how to do CPR, because I just think that it's important. If we all know how to do CPR, then we are all better citizens of the world. And I just think that it's important because you never know when you're going to be in that situation where you're the one there needing to do compressions on someone. I watched, what's his name? Dr. Ken's Netflix special, and he told a story because he really is a doctor. He's a comedian though and an actor, but he told a story about when he actually had I was going to say a passenger, but he had an audience member have a seizure, and he like flew down there and he went into like full doctor mode, and he's had to do CPR before on customers, on audience members, patrons, fans, and it's just something that is I think that it's just important that we all know it. Okay, so if you love medicine, go get your EMT license certification. If you think your resume needs a little safety bump, then go ahead and get Red Cross CPR certified. Go take an AED class. You can learn how to use the defibrillator. And I think that it will benefit you on your resume. I know it will benefit you on your resume. It will also just make you a better human being to live in the world. So that's my recommendation. I actually have a video in the description that I go a little bit more into it, and also give you 2 other ideas to kind of help your resume and your aspiring flight attendant while we're kind of waiting, things you can do to kind of like pump it up. The other 2 are volunteer work and learn how to swim if you don't know how to swim, because none of these things are requirements. You don't have to know how to swim to be a flight attendant in the US. You don't have to know CPR. They'll teach you, and you don't have to have ever volunteered. But they just make you a better person. And if you're a better person, you're going to be a better flight attendant. So that's my recommendation for that. Matt Summers says, my maiden name is Sumner. similar. Everyone always thought it was Summers. Matt Summers says he's a 13-year EMS here, and that's a good answer. Good. Yeah, I'm sure Matt could tell stories. He's probably like, yeah, y'all, this is not the thing where you're like, I want to make my resume pretty, so I'm going to go and ride and work in an ambulance and help people. I mean, my sister-in-law is a physician's assistant in an emergency room. And like the things she even talks about is just like insane. Like it's something that you have to be called to for sure. Same as a flight attendant. But let's all go get our CPR certification, even if you just take the online one. Oh, and also another thing he asked while we're talking about this. So once you get that certification, that goes down in your education section. So you could do education and certifications as the heading, or you could just keep it as education. You have your high school, you have your college, your trade school, your other trainings that you had, your serve safe from when you were waitress, and then underneath you'll say Redcross, first aid, and CPR certified. And you'll add that on there right there in your education. So that's where it goes. And that's all I have for y'all today. I will see you next week. I don't know where from. Actually, I do. Probably Charleston, I think. We'll see. Maybe I don't know where. And you'll never know where I'm coming from either until we hop on. So normally this show is just on YouTube. I went ahead and put it on Facebook today because I was kind of making a bigger announcement. So if you're watching this live on Facebook and you want to watch every week, you can either catch the replay later or please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Abbie Unger TV. And I go live every Wednesday with It's Morning Somewhere. So whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening for you, I hope that your day is fantastic. And I can't wait to talk to you next week. Have a great week. Bye.